Hi, beautiful subscribers. Welcome back. This is Tina from Tinaheals.com talking about the beautiful Comet Neowise, who is bringing forth some kind of new wisdom. This new wisdom is possibly age old, ancient, and hoary, but the 7D violet rays that are creating the magnetosphere from which this information is being surcharged is a new creation. And this new creation is happening by the alchemical merging of the seven stars in Ursa Major with the seven stars of the Pleiades constellation, creating a sort of a Vajra, creating a sort of a diamond body, okay? Yeah, comet is oftentimes like a vajra, a sword cutting away at what is not necessary, the delusions and the illusions of the sublunar planetary sphere. But this ultraviolet ray is bringing forth a new instruction manual for our planetary loci, okay? And we've started to feel the impact of this comet from the 27th of March, and we just had the great conjunction of Saturn and Pluto on the 19th of January, and by 11th of March I think the pandemic was already announced by WHO that this is not something normal. I've been making videos and predicting that 2020, the Saturn Pluto conjunction is going to bring forth something that is unprecedented. So ultimately, the coronavirus stopped humanity straight in its track and kind of sent us back home, where we had to, face up for most of us who work with darkness as well as light. It made us face all this destructive histories of different divergent timelines, the destructive history of humanity, of which I have been a part of as I'm a human. And the 70 ray is here to heal humanity, and this is such a beautiful time for the reconfiguration that is taking place. And on the 21st of December, the merging of Jupiter and Saturn, that is going to be so very significant. It is absolutely new vistas into which we are walking in. And when Neowise was discovered, it was near the fixed star Canopus. I told you how comets bring forth messages from not only the constellation they're coming through and the fixed stars, they also bring information to the sun, the comets. So the sun can change the stellar architecture. That is very important. And we're not only talking about the visible sun that you see, we are talking about the central spiritual sun. Okay, it's seven suns in one. I explained this in video number 1. Please check it out. So when Neowise was visible, she was not visible when she was first discovered. She was near the fixed star Canopus. Now, Canopus is known to bring forth great cataclysms. Okay, it's very Saturnine, and it relates directly to Saturnine time shift. Saturn is known as Kala, Kronos. Okay, and if you remember the painting by Goya, Saturn devouring his own children, there's a deep symbology to it. Saturn eats his own children, as in Saturn devours his own creation, because Saturn is the ultimate planetary daimon, the lord of the seventh planetary sphere. Okay, now Canopus is very Saturnine. Like I told you, also the first decan of Leo is ruled by Saturn in the Chaldean system. And of course, by the triplicity system, the sun holds rulership. So again, we see the emphasis of sun. The Africans thought of Canopus to be associated with the sun goddess. Okay, in fact, one side of the Kaaba points to Canopus. So there is a sense of Neowise trying to release rigidity, okay, because Canopus is about shifts. Saturn devouring his own children. What's redundant is not going to continue. So what's rigid? Saturn is rigid, and the creation of Saturn is also rigid. So, release rigidity. Saturn is also destruction in Aquarius, because Saturn plays more like Vishnu in Capricorn, where he preserves, but Saturn in Aquarius is destroying that creation. So when Neowise became visible, it was near the fixed star Capella. All fixed stars are from Ursa Major. So Capella has a very, very strong feminine quality. It speaks of feminine leadership. It is connected to Diana, Artemis. Moon, lunar goddesses. These are lunar goddesses. And their power is tremendous, but it is not an aggressive masculine power. It is a power that is full of love and compassion, like matriarchy. It's not aggressive. Sorry. So Ursa Major, it's very, very well known. Okay, this constellation was the cradle of the Babylonian myths, and when essentially Neowise was last visible, it was a time of matriarchy, and Capella is also directly associated to matriarchy. Okay, now if you think of Ursa Major, it is the Holy Grail. Okay, it is the Holy Grail. Now, this is about bringing the sacred into the mundane. Now, speaking about the Holy Grail, I remember the film Da Vinci's Code, when Audrey Tautou walks into that room, of that English guy they went to. Of course, turns out to be the bad guy in the end. The leader of the people who were defending the Grail, basically, I forget right now. So when Audrey Tautou walks into that room, and there's of course this huge display of the Last Supper, and Audrey Tautou walks in, and this historian, archaeologist and historian, he sort of looks at her and he's like, tell me, what do you see? So she says that this is Jesus and his 12 disciples. So and he says, yeah, okay, and do you see the two figures here? So she says, okay, that, and he shows the two figures of Jesus, and right next to him is this figure with sort of red curly hair, very feminine, very frail. So she says, must be some male disciple. So the English historian says, are you sure? Is it a male? It's not. It's Mary Magdalene. So when you look at the way Jesus and Mary Magdalene are sitting, it forms a Holy Grail. Once with Photoshop, if you remove Mary Magdalene from this side and take her to the other side, you can see she is caressing Jesus Christ, like holding Jesus Christ. They're sitting together, the hierosgamos. Okay, so the Holy Grail, it took me to that scene directly when that English historian explains how the Last Supper explains the Holy Grail to be the womb. This is what Capella signifies, the womb, the Holy Grail. Okay, the legend of King Arthur is also from Ursa Major, basically. Okay, the Holy Grail. So we see that there is a strong, powerful feminine resurrection and a sort of end of patriarchy. Now, what I see with Neophyte, I see huge changes in nature, society, the system of marriage, the system of relationships. We see more female-led relationships. we will see an end to many authoritarian regimes, because this feminine power from Capella that Neowise is bringing is not aggressive, is connecting like Venus, and it's new timelines that are coming into place, and the poles are also migrating, so there's this huge shift in the solar system with the poles of the sun and the earth also shifting. So we need to realize that we have to protect water, and of course we see some kind of mass extinction of animals, with tons of animals dying, like the elephants in Botswana, like thousands of sparrows falling out from the skies in places like in places in America. And it's going to be like tons of animals are going to die now if we don't protect them. So, interestingly, the Chinese have predicted that the females will become very energetically powerful by 2023. And I think this is what Neowise is bringing forth: an patriarchy, a resurrection of feminine voices from all sectors. Resources. Matriarchy uses resources very differently to patriarchy. And I think this Neowise is about creating new thought forms, okay? It is about creating new thought forms. Because the old destructive system is honestly not working for us anymore. So, getting to understand a bit more about the effect of this planet, as I said, is 1/8 of its whole period of going around the sun, and that's quite a long period, and it is most powerful when visible. So, Sun and Mars will all obviously, when transiting these degrees of Leo, it's going to activate the energies that Neowise is bringing from Capella, is bringing from Canopus. It's going to be very, very powerful. It could be that Neowise brings catastrophe to humans, and because comets are known to do that, disturbances to human life, humanity, and humanity's plans. So, crops, yeah, definitely the way we farm, we have to think of more matriarchal ways of farming. Weather will change tremendously, okay? Now, another thing that I want to discuss is comets often hearken to the rise of an agent. So, this agent could be an agent of love, war, some sort of leader, some sort of reformer, someone who's being activated. I, for one, am hugely feeling Comet Neowise, because Comet Neowise is basically right now on my natal sun, and it's coming from the constellation of Leo. Okay, it's quite a powerful time for me. So some agent of love or war is going to come forth. Uh, Comets bring light, that is messages for all of us. I mean, I don't know how much we can decipher, but we need to really think about the significations of Neowise, who is bringing forth a new wisdom. Now, many comets are, of course, caught by Jupiter, and then if that happens, then certain Jupiterian significations are added to the fixed stars and the energy of the comet. Now, the message is, of course, delivered when the comet makes its closest approach to the sun. Okay, and that's on the 23rd. So, comets are like wild cards. Understand that. They could be blessings, they could be malefic, they're like wild cards. Okay, and uh, change with a capital CHANGE. Okay, and this is not just change in our worldly patriarchal systems. The Neowise is changing the order of the solar system. Now, Robson says effects of comet appear to be exerted through the constellations in which they appear. Okay, also the zodiacal sign, which here is Leo, the degree, which is the first degree, and they also bring immense heat, pestilence, sterility of the earth, wars, change in kingdoms, winds, earthquakes, floods. So there's going to be a lot of change. Now, 27th of March 2020 is when a neophyte appeared from 1 degree 16 minutes of Leo. This is the first decan of Leo, which I told you is ruled by Saturn in the Chaldean system and by Sun in triplicity system. The tarot card of this is Five of Wands. So Five of Wands is strife. So Neowise is also going to bring strife, I think. Every time I say Neowise, I think of neophyte, which is a name for a seeker, spiritual seeker. So the Leo Decan one can be overtly defensive. So, obviously Neowise is feeding off this defensive vibe that's going on. This is the 10th manzil or Al-Gheba. And the Pico trick says that when the moon traverses this manzil of the moon, anything you want to do. For instance, if Venus is here, you make images for love. If Mars is here, you make images for destruction of enemies. Saturn, you make a firm incarceration of captives. It can strengthen and complete buildings with Jupiter here and love of allies. And for mutual help of those allies. So I wanted to look at the Sabian symbol of 0 to 1 of Leo, and that is very interesting. Blood rushes to a man's head as his vital energies are mobilized under the spur of ambition. So again, we see ambition, okay, and the ambition is so much that his vital energies are mobilized, okay, and they're going to this man's head, and it's crazy. Now remember, Leo represents solar fire. So this comet is bringing the energy from the heart to the head. Once again, I will repeat the Sabian symbol. Blood rushes to a man's head as his vital energies are mobilized under the spur of ambition. Very active, as you see. So energy of the solar energy from the heart chakra to the head chakra. So heart chakra is green, head chakra, the Sahasrara is violet, and the third eye chakra is indigo, okay. And this is a mentalization process. It's a dangerous process because it is about transmutation of life into mind, okay, which is why it is so dangerous. Transmutation of life into mind, okay. How do you transmute life, which is a verb, into the mind, okay? It's an idea, and this comet will bring for us messages from the central spiritual sun and the seven suns in one. So this is a sort of initiation that I see. A solar flare plasma emission that the sun gave out recently was classified in X flare. Solar flares can be very interesting. The sun was going through a period of hibernation, and suddenly last month the sun woke up, and I did all my sun sign videos. And basically what you need to understand is that the solar flare is pure intelligence, okay, and it is light. And this solar flare, the eruption from the sun, it ejects energy into the magnetic atmosphere, okay. And the coronal mass ejections are a mass of charged particles, okay, and the magnetic field energy that bursts like a volcano. So it's so powerful. The sun is charging us with plasma, and the comet is bringing this solar message. So solar, not SOLAR, but SOUL, solar. Okay, so it's a soul message, a message from the central sun. Okay, and Neowise, if you look at the chart of 27th of March, Neowise is at 10, at 1 degree 16 minutes of Leo and is opposite Mars, Saturn, and is square Uranus, which is how Uranus is bringing the 7D rays. So this opposite Saturn, I see this as a very powerful influence in all of this. Okay, and of course, plagues, burning fears is a signification of Mars, even the fast nature of this virus. So it comes from the constellation Argo, and Ptolemy says that the stars of this constellation are like Saturn and Jupiter. So they are dignified, pious, conservative, acquisitive, and retentive. What I predict is trouble to nobility and big rulers, big sort of archetypal kings. You know, the sort of the archetype of the king. Now, the significations come from color, like I told you. So, if you look at Neowise in great detail, you will be able to see that the first tail is magenta, okay, and that's made of gas and ions. The second twin tail is golden, made of dust. The false nucleus is a brilliant yellow, and the tail is a delicate shade of orange. So it is developing, of course, as you see over here, a bluish tail as it is ready to go beyond our visibility. So, gold, orange, yellow, Sun, Venus, Jupiter. Uh, but because comets are malefic, you do not give the benefic significations of these planets. So you give the malefic significations, so plague, sickness, death of kings, trouble to women with that Venus involvement there. So comets basically, according to me, symbolize frozen issues that ignite and grab our attention, releasing from the abyss of our consciousness suppressed emotions like fear and horror. So, what was lying frozen? All the issues in our unconscious, our subconscious. The comet, like a sword, cuts through everything that where we were hiding, all the cobwebs around it. The comet slices through, and we are forced to pay attention, and we have to face the abyss, okay, of all these suppressed emotions. So Marcus Manilius, 2000 years ago, a Greek astrologer, said, "Heaven in pity is sending upon earth tokens of impending doom." Now, it's a sword. Now, when you think of Archangel Michael, you think of Archangel Michael and his sword that cuts away at what is not necessary, his sword that cuts away at what is redundant. So I just want to say that Neowise is bringing in a new wisdom. It is ending patriarchy as we know it, and this is Capella's energy. Capella is pushing forward for this change, and of course, you know, the Uranus, the involvement of Uranus in all of this, and the bringing in of the 7D rays. Right now, meditation is super powerful. So get in touch with me if you want to have your astrology, because remember, Uranus also rules astrology. So, astrology readings can be super powerful right now to basically understand where you're headed, what you're meant to do, what is being signified to you through this Neowise. And it's so powerful because squares are very powerful. So squaring Uranus opposite Saturn, and is from a decan ruled by Saturn in the Chaldean system. So it is 5 of Wands, the tarot card. If you really want to think of the energies neophyte can bring forth, That was my understanding of how Neophyte will play out. It's end of patriarchy as we know it, the oppressive systems of patriarchy as we know it, and a new time of the feminine resurrection, the awakening of the goddess. The great cosmic womb awakens, the mother awakens. Thank you very much. It was such a pleasure talking, and hope you like this making. And forgetting about this beautiful thing on the very day when the comet is ready to bring forth his message.